Terrell Davis, Hall of Famer here on the Rich Eisen Show. Cool. That's the word I said last hour. That's the word for him. Cool. I always felt like, man, that guy was cool. And every time I had an exchange with him, I'm like, as he walked away and I watched him kind of like mosey away in leather jacket or whatever he was in, or one of those sport coats, I'm like, man, that was cool. He is so cool.
Right.
And I didn't play for him like you, but I broadcast for him. And we all at the NFL Network at the very beginning, TD, when you start something new, you're hoping it's working out. You're hoping that those who are in charge like it or what have you. I never felt like that this could fold or it wasn't going to work, because I always thought Pat Bowlen wouldn't let it happen. I really felt that way. And obviously, Steve Bornstein, our immediate boss, and the commissioner were always very integral, and Roger Goodell at the time too. But because of his support, I never thought that there was any problem with that. I'm wondering what that was like to play for somebody who I assume created the same atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's you got a chance to experience it on a small level, but to be in the building with somebody like that every day, and to know what he was building and what he what his idea of what a franchise looks like. The words I was always, I guess one of the words was classy, but he'd always talk about first class. Everything was like in a first class manner. And so you kind of have this idea that, he's going to spare no expense to make sure that he's doing everything in a first class manner. And just like, what you said, like back when the NFL Network first started, you and I were there.
That's right.
And he would come up there and, he was partly responsible for, probably a lot of responsible for me being on the network, in the early stages. But just to have an owner, I don't know. Like I said, one of the things I would say when I was playing is that, and I hear it from a lot of guys who play, they talk about sometimes they wonder what it's like to play for another franchise while they're playing for their current team. I've never had to think about that, because I thought that this was I was sitting there with the best franchise, the best owner. So I never ever thought about, I wonder what it felt like to play for the Cowboys. I never thought about that, because when you have it so good where you are, you don't never allow that thought to enter your brain. But I heard people would come to Denver and they would always compliment us or comment on, I can't believe you guys got like this here. And when you look at franchises that are successful, just look at the ownership. Look at the ownership, because that's the spear. That's where it starts. It starts up top and it trickles down. And everything that's happened in Denver, from the winning percentage, 300 wins in the first 30 years, the Super Bowl appearances, the championship, all of that stuff, it starts with Pat Bowlen. It starts with the ownership. So that should tell you a lot about Mr. B. And, I have a little personal story. When I went to have my surgery in 1999 after I tore my ACL, the first phone call I received when I came out of surgery was from Pat Bowlen. So that tells you the type of man he is, to care about you. And it was a genuine concern. It wasn't just a passing, hey, how you doing, call you a generic name or a number. He called you by your name. He asked you questions about your family. He did his homework and to go out of his way to make sure he knew everything about you. And you have to imagine how that feels as a player, when he has to know all the players on his roster. And he did a great job of engaging players and making them feel special. And, I can't say enough great things about Pat Bowlen.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.